the very real fallacy that tempt our very minds, that tempt at every turn our ability or capacity to see truth. Scientists have found ways to avoid these human weaknesses, where in the humanities, they're great. But that allows us, again, to fall into the trap of no longer being able to see truth, see the world around us. Holst could have told you, perhaps, that Pluto wasn't a real planet. Holst could also have told you a lot of rather silly things about what planets were, because he only actually knew 9 notes, or 8 notes, sorry, which meant he was out of magic. I mean, he'd run out of the capacity to move further. And I should point out that I've been awake for 18 hours already, and I'm scrambling, and I'm really hoping my esteemed colleague will jump up and say yes and bail me out. But let me finish with a with our graphic. You all know we have a Tesla tree on campus, right? Yes? Is it? Yeah, okay. Here's my graph. I'm going to try not to knock everything over here. And I'm not sure what that is, but I'm an artist, so that's okay, but that would be my argument for the opposition as well. Stefan, do you want to please let me sit down?
Thank you for the fantastic point. Generally, I think I don't really much to add to that, because I think we've covered it. The anecdotal evidence, Aristotle thought that flies only have 4 legs. Flies have more than 4 legs. He's wrong. Yes. Does that show that Aristotle is somehow not an important thinker, not an important philosopher? No, not really. Pythagoras and the bean. Okay. Silly. I'll grant you that point. Beans are not deadly. They don't really look like genitals, although I'll defer to my colleague. But nevertheless, does that mean that the Pythagorean theorem is somehow a bad idea? No. What it shows is that both people who are in the arts and who are in the sciences have complex ideas, complex personalities. They're pulled in different directions. There's a religious pull, there's a scientific pull, there's all these other things as well. And the mere fact that someone has questionable ideas is not enough to show that they are somehow not worth studying, not worth being aware of. I'm starting to battle now. So I would say
it's the problem with sort of getting old people to do this, really. I mean, I think we're at a disadvantage.
So the 2 youngest professors in arts and science.
I believe you said today in lecture that the debate we will have to do on nuclear energy requires young, energetic...
That's why you're doing it and not me!
So, are you unable to hold your position? So hold what position? Here? This position. Oh, well, I can see how I walked into that this afternoon, yeah. I was wondering what you were scribbling down. Pages, so.
I like to point out...
You were digressing here?
You were going to digress.
Are you done your...
Do we have a chance for final remarks, or are we closing
I
at this
think
point?
just the closing, and then we'll go to closing.
Switch orders. That's
Oh, we can switch orders. You can come back.
Okay, sure.
Well,
Really matters.
closing on the opposition.
Yes.
2 minutes.
Whatever. I want to point out something. We never said that the Pythagorean theorem or anything like that wasn't right. That's not what we're trying to argue. We're not trying to say that, like, it's all wrong. We're just saying that the scientists don't even really know the difference between right and wrong. They have no grip on reality. It doesn't matter if, like, it's technically their philosophy, which is an art, so it must just be that artist. They're still scientists. They have no grip on reality. Now, I want to say something very important. I am a worthless human being. I'm really pretty pathetic. How I get up in the morning is astounding to me. I'm devious and a horrible being. And what does that say about my opponent? He's afraid to face the truth. What does How awful I am. What does that say about my opponent? Now, Chris is wonderful. And everything that I've said that you might have thought even the slightest bit acceptable, reasonable, rational, it's all from Chris. I don't know anything. What does that say about those two? Let me tell you. Dr. Rodde hired me to mark logic. And I also want to say that if I'm the way I am, well, I gotta blame my parents. And who is my dad? The chair of the history department. And who, as Dr. Egan said, that he aspires to be like? The chair of the history department. Dr. Egan wants to be the father of a devious being. What does that say about him? Now, perhaps I'm wrong. Perhaps they're not devious or lack judgment. Perhaps they just are lying to you through their teeth. That's right. They're lying because they have motivation to do so. Dr. Rodde is currently just pouring out his intellect, saying anything that might get him a little bit closer to tenure. He will do anything and will say anything. Everything that's come out of his mouth. False. Slight hope of tenure. And Dr. Egan, well, he already has tenure. But he's just bitter. He wants to win so bad so that he can go to Professor Cruikshank the next day and say, guess how hard I whooped just so bad. Real hard. And why? Not only does he crave to be the chair of history himself, but he has recently taken the unfortunate position of undergraduate chair, I believe, or whatever the word is. Undergraduate.
You should check your information and data to make sure you're presenting correct information. In this case, it is actually correct.
What does that person do? Well, you know when you can't get into a class? Yeah, let's just take that a second. Yeah, perfect. Now, if you ever not gotten into a class and you had to email someone to get into your class, that's what this guy has to deal with right now. Every whining kid who wants to get into a history class. And he hates my father dearly for that. Yeah, all right.
Very interesting, given that there's been some gross transgressions on the other side. Indeed, transgressions of boundaries toward a transformative hermeneutics of arts and science things. I want to be like my esteemed opponent's father, and yet I loathe him. I hate myself. The undergraduate chair position, I will grant you, is something that was foisted upon me, not something of my own choosing. Yes, I do have a bottle of bourbon in my office now. But that is because I am an artist and can't cope with the reality.
He recognizes the reality. He has a grip on it.
No. And that's why I drink.
You have to drink because you have a grip on reality. You need to escape it. It's all around you all the time.
Dude, I just tried to drink. You know? Just hold on. And thank God I have tenure because this is really a bad path to be heading down in general.
There's no hard feelings, so do whatever.
Nevertheless. Yeah, I got nothing. I'm sort of void of reality that in addition to not complaining bitterly to become undergraduate chair, which I could have done because, again, the beauty of tenure is I do think it's fire for me. It's so cool. I think there are some things I can't do, but I haven't experimented far enough yet. But that would require developing and acquiring empirical evidence to find out, yeah, there's the boundary, whoops. I haven't got that far yet.